Hey there nation, welcome to the show where we help you to play miniatures wargaming on a budget. It is I, Commander Chiefskate, and we're back with another edition of Kill Team of our Fall of Ramah Kill Team campaign. This time it is fought between my friend Dark Lord Mac as well as myself. My friend Dark Lord Mac is bringing the Golden Scions, a Thousand Sons Kill Team, and I am playing Kill Team Dothros of the Deathwatch. So if you're wondering why you're playing this and listening to Mark Morrison's Return of the Mac earlier, that's because my buddy Dark Lord Mac, I made a deal with him every single time that I do a video with him in it. I put Return of the Mac on there because that's his favorite song, and we're geeks that way, and we can do whatever we want on this channel. So anyways, so this is the second power report of our Fall of Ramah Kill Team campaign. This was fought between my two friends and I. We're playing on a sweep and clear scenario. So that being said, we can play some background music real quick. If you want to see exactly what we're bringing for this one, go ahead and pause and take a look at your leisure. So that being said, let's get this battle report on a roll. Alright, so the scenario rules for this one is sweep and clear. The goal is to be the only unbroken kill team left on the battlefield. Now, if you can't achieve that objective, the other objective is to control different objective points spread throughout the entirety of the battlefield. You get 3 victory points for each objective that is controlled by a player, and you also get 1 victory point for each enemy that you put out of action as well. And the kill team with the most victory points ends up winning that way as well. And as you can see here, we got about, I think we have 4. There we go, 4 different objectives located in the center of the battlefield, all represented by barrels in this case. As you can see, we're playing on a kill team table. This one's in the cityscape this time, and whoever loses this battle report loses 2 points to their territory, is what ends up happening for the penalties on this one. So that being said, let's go and talk about the battle plan real quick. So here's an overhead shot of the entirety of the battlefield. As you can see, we're playing on a Sector Imperialis table this time. As you can see, we've got Rise of Rust Ruins, some hedgehogs. We also got some Hescobears and power plants located everywhere. I'm deployed on the left-hand side of the battlefield. My opponent's deployed on the right-hand corner of the battlefield as well. And as you can see, we have a couple of objectives there. We have 4 barrels, 1 on top of the saloon, 1 on either side of it, and 1 in front of it as well. So in case we can't break the other, the goal is to take that. My plan is to move across the battlefield as quick as I can, occupy the high ground, the saloon, do reverse slope against the Thousand Sons, hopefully taking apart with some superior firepower. Now I am playing Deathwatch, which means I only have about 5 members of this kill team, so I'm quite literally playing a kill team on this mission. So whatever losses I do take, it's bad, but I do put out more firepower than I receive, so that's a little bit of a bonus as well. The only thing I'm really worried about for my opponent is the fact that he's playing Thousand Sons. Thousand Sons do have a 5 aboard save. They also have really good shooting as well. He's got a Soul Reaper cannon as well as a Warp Flamer in this unit. He's also got a Twist Spray combat specialist, and to make things worse, his leader is also a Psyker, which I do not have, so I got to worry about that as well. So like I said before, that's pretty much the plan. My plan is hopefully occupy the objective points in the middle of the table, hopefully shoot him off the table, and then be done with it that way. So with that being said, let's go and talk about deployment real quick. Alright, so starting on the left-hand side of our deployment is my entirety of my Deathwatch Kill Team Dothros. Up there on the left is Cadmus of the Imperial Fist. He's a gunner who's carrying a frag cannon. Right next to him is Xiphon of the Salamanders. He's carrying an Furnace Heavy Bolter. Next to them in the middle, that is Demos of the Dark Angels. He is a sniper specialist who's also carrying a Stalker Bolt Gun as well as a Power Sword. I forgot to mention that Xiphon of the Salamanders, with the guy carrying the Furnace Heavy Bolter, that is my heavy specialist in this group. Right next to them on the right-hand side with the Minotaurs patch of red and white, that is Sergeant Dothros of Kill Team Dothros. He's carrying a Comba Melta as well as a Xenophase Blade. Now this miniature does have a Storm Shield on it, and that's because when I made this miniature I made it for 40k, not so much for Kill Team, so ignore the fact he's carrying a Storm Shield. Pretend it's a Xenophase Blade that looks like a Storm Shield. There we go, that's how I'll do it. And on the right hand side, that is Brother Silence. That is my Black Shield. He's my Zealot. He's also got a Storm Shield as well as a Power Sword, and that makes up my deployment here on the left hand side of the battlefield. Alright, on the other side of the battlefield is my friend Dark Lord Mac. He's got his Thousand Sons located there, the Golden Scions. Up in the left-hand corner, that is Amenhotep of the Light. That is his heavy gunner, who's carrying a Soul Reaper cannon. And right next to him is Caliphus, who is just a normal Fire Team Thousand Son, armed with a Warp Bolter. In the center is Sikinre the Illuminator. That is the leader of this group. He's also aspiring sorcerer. He's got the psychic ability as well. He's also carrying an Inferno Bolt pistol. Taking point is Anku, which is a Twist Spray combat specialist armed with Zangor blades. On the right hand side of him, that is Ron, which is a normal Thousand Son Space Marine with a Warp Bolter. And right behind him is Kalasar on fire, which is a veteran specialist who's armed with a Warp Flamer. And that makes up my friend's deployment on this one. So with the deployment phase over with, we go directly to the top of turn number 1, and my friend and I roll off for strategic advantage to see who goes first. Alright, so that takes us directly to the top of turn number 1, and I managed to get the strategic advantage on this one, so Deathwatch will be going first. And this photo is taken after the move phase, and as you see, both Dark Lord Mac and I start spreading out our forces as quickly as possible, start trying to envelop each other. Like I said before, my main goal was to occupy the high ground, so you can see up there I got Brother Silence, as well as Sergeant Dothros of the Minotaurs, as well as Cadmus of the Imperial Fists. I advanced with all three of those guys directly, sorry, not advanced with them, yeah, I advanced with all three of those guys directly on top of the building there, so that they can lay down some overwatching fire. Also on the right hand side, I also move on Xiphon of the Salamanders. I move up his normal wound allowance, so that way you can start engaging the 2,000 Sons who are there in the top of the screen. And I put Sergeant Demos, put Demos of the Dark Angels right behind him to lay down some long-range covering fire with his Stalker pattern bolt gun. Now the problem is I do suffer -1 penalty from moving both these guys because they're carrying heavy weapons. However, Xiphon of the Salamanders does have the Relentless ability, so he doesn't have to worry about that too much. But my sniper, not so much. I'm planning on using his marksman ability so that way I can, add one to hit rolls in order to mitigate that. At the same time, my friend Dark Lord Matt also starts taking the offensive. He advances forward with Anku, his Twist Spray, who's on the top of the saloon right there. At the same time, he also sweeps right and left. On the right-hand side, he's got Amenhotep of the Light as well as Caliphus. They're moving on the attack on the top of the screen, moving down to the left-hand side of my flank. On the right-hand side of the flank, he's got his two other Thousand Sons. That's Ron taking point, as well as Kalasar on fire, which is the Warp Flamer carrying veteran right behind him. And then Sikinre the Illuminator just stays right next to the objective point, so that way he can control that as well. And to be perfectly honest, he doesn't really need line of sight because he has psychic abilities, which is pretty scary as well. And that pretty much makes the move phase for turn number 1 for this battle report. Here's a close-up of Demos as well as Xiphon taking up Overwatch and covering positions, so they'll cover the left-hand flank of the battlefield. And here's a close-up of Anku staring down Cadmus of the Imperial Fist, as well as Sergeant Dothros of the Minotaurs and Brother Silence of the Black Shield. And then right there at the top, you can also see Amenhotep of the Light, as well as Caliphus moving to the right-hand side, getting ready to sweep across towards my left-hand flank. And finally, here's a close-up of Sikinre the Illuminator occupying that first objective with Ron as well as Kalasar on fire. Moving on the right-hand side, get ready to sweep there to attack me on the next flank on my right-hand side. And so with the move phase over with, we'll go directly to the psychic phase. And unfortunately for me, he takes out Brother Silence during the psychic phase. He uses his Side Bolt ability and managed to put the mortal wound directly onto Brother Silence, which is just demoralizing because there's nothing I can do to stop that because I have no psychics of my own, and he pretty much owns that psychic phase with the Aspiring Champion. So now I have to take out that Aspiring Sorcerer as quickly as I possibly can because mortal wounds are no joke in Kill Team, and I just lost my close combat specialist for the most part. However, I suppose it's all a moot point when you think about it, because during the shooting phase, I basically own the shooting phase on this one. First thing I do is I open with Sergeant Dothros. He opens with his Melt-A-Gun directly onto Anku of the Twist Spray. Managed to put that guy out of action too quick, because D6 damage is no joke, especially if you're going against Zangor. I got really lucky on that one because he failed his favorite of his Aura of Dark Majesty, or Dark Aura ability, which gives him a 5 reward, but I got pretty lucky, managed to take him that way as well. And then Cadmus of the Imperial Fist with his frag cannon just opens up and just curb stomps Sikinre the Illuminator there on the right hand side. He managed to hit him 8 times, if I remember correctly, with his frag cannon. The best part about frag cannons is that they automatically hit. All I gotta do is worry about wounding. He did, of course, try to save some with his armor saves. He also saved some with his ward save, as well as his invulnerable save from favorite of Zneach. However, in the end, I managed to put 2 wounds on that guy, and because of that, he got rolled out of action as well. So both Anku as well as Sikinre the Illuminator will need to roll up on the series injury table to see exactly what happens to them at the end of this battle report. However, here on the left-hand side, things did not work out so well for me. I do open up with Xiphon of the Salamanders with his heavy bolter directly into Caliphus, as well as into what's his name? Ammonhep of the Light. Unfortunately for me, though, I wasn't able to hit and land any shots of those or wound for the most part as well. Not to mention, at the same time, Ammonhep of the Light opened up with his Soul Reaper autocannon directly onto Xiphon of the Salamanders and puts him directly out of action as well, which is pretty demoralizing to see that happen, because every single time I take a loss, it really hurts because I'm Deathwatch. So because of that, he will need to roll up on the series injury table as well. However, Demos of the Dark Angels, I use his sniper ability to give him +1 to hit, and I directly fire into Ron and manage to put that guy out of action as well. So because of that, he's going out. And that's because Kraken Bolts always wound on a 2-up, and you cannot beat that. So that part's pretty nice as well. Got really lucky that he filled his ward saves for the most part, so too sweet at that point. So here's the end of turn number 1. During the end phase, we've checked to see if our kill teams were broken, and luckily we both passed our broken test, so we're both perfectly fine at that point. As you can see, I am occupying the high ground, but I only got 3 members of my kill team left. I got Cadmus, Dothros, as well as Demos there on the left-hand side. At the same time, though, my opponent only has 3 members of his kill team left as well. He's got Ammonhep of the Light at the top, as well as Ron, as well as Calazar on fire there on the right hand side as well. So what my plan here to do is to kind of like stand my ground a little bit and hopefully not get shot at. Oh, I forgot to mention, I did get hit with the flamer. I did make a mistake on that ward. What's his name? Calazar on fire opened up with his warp flame and managed to put a flesh wound onto Sergeant Dothros. So I do apologize, I forgot to bring that up the last time we were talking about the shooting phase. So anyways, that brings us to the end of turn number 1. So with that being said, we go directly to the top of turn number 2 and we roll off to see who has strategic advantage. Alright, so that takes us directly to the top of turn number 2, and I managed to get strategic advantage on this one, and this photo is taken after the movement phase, and as you can see, not much movement took place for me. I just basically put ready markers on both Sergeant Dothros as well as an Academist, so that way they can shoot anything that comes their way. At the same time, I do move Demos to the left-hand side, so that way he can shoot through this window there on the Riser Ruins there on the left-hand side, because Ammonhep of the Light is assaulting on the right-hand side, so I'm in a good cover position where I can shoot through that window and hit him, and that's pretty much what my goal is for that. At the same time, Darklord Mac does press his advantage with both Ron as well as with Calazar on fire. They both just move normal forward, just their normal window lounge directly to the top of that saloon, and they're getting to lock and load. Luckily for me, though, I do have priority in the shooting phase. That's really going to help me out because I got ready markers next to my guys. And that pretty much makes up turn number 2. Here's a close-up of Cadmus and Sergeant Dothros getting ready to take on both Calazar on fire as well as Ron, because I plan on shooting those guys off the table too quick. And here's a close-up of Demos getting ready to lay down the suppressive fire with a sniper rifle directly into Ammonhep of the Light. So with the move phase over with, we skip the second phase because there's no more psychers left on the table, and we go directly to the shooting phase. And because I have ready markers, I open up first. As you can see, I put down both Ron as well as Calazar on fire. Calazar on the fire got taken out with the frag cannon. At the same time, Sergeant Dothros is going to take out Ron as well. So both those guys will need to roll up on the strategic injury table to see what happens to them at the end of the battle report. And finally, I was able to put the hurting down with the sniper, Demos of the Dark Angels. I used his ability once again in order to get +1 to hit against, and I shot him twice with Kraken rounds, winning on 2-up, and managed to put that guy out of action as well. So needless to say, I pretty much win this one. And finally, here's an overhead shot of the battlefield because I won this one because I completely tabled the Golden Scions. And that pretty much brings us to the end of the battle report. So that being said, ladies and gentlemen, we're going to go directly to the after action report, talk about the post game, and talk about what happened to both kill teams. Alright, so start with the Golden Scions. First of all, every single member of his team did take injuries. Sekimri the Illuminator, Ammonhep of the Light, Calazar on fire, Caliphus, Ron, as well as Anku. Sekimri the Illuminator earned hard knocks on his recovery, so he got +1 to his experience, so that's pretty cool. Meanwhile, Ammonhep of the Light, as well as Caliphus, Ron, and Anku made full recoveries, and Calazar on fire also got hard knocks, and since he's a specialist, he also earns +1 to his experience point as well. For advancements, Ammonhep of the Light earned the suppressor as well as suppressor ability, as well as the overwhelming fire tactic as well. So because of that, he'll be able to use that for the next battle report as well. For the recruitment, they didn't recruit anybody at this time because they really couldn't. For the resources, they're still at 8 intelligence, 8 morale, and as well as 8 material. However, their territory does drop by 2 to 6 because they lost the scenario. Their current record now is at 0 wins as well as 1 loss, and the new rating for their kill team is at 100 points even because Ammonhep of the Light leveled up. Now then, when it comes to kill team Dothros, for my injuries, Xiphon of the Salamanders as well as Brother Silence both went into action, but they both made full recoveries, so good news on that one. I did advance twice. Cadmus of the Imperial Fist learned the skilled ability, so he has +1 to hit against during the shooting phase, and Demos of the Dark Angels learned the assassin ability as well as the headshot tactic as well. For the recruitment, I didn't recruit anybody else new, and my resources are completely all at 8, so intelligence, morale, material, and territory are all at 8 still. My new record's at 1 win and 0 losses, and my new rating is now at 102 points. Which could be pretty bad because I just broke 100 points, so I might have to replace one of my members of my kill team for the next battle report because you know, I broke 100 points on that one. So that's good to do for this one, you guys. As always, please feel free to like, comment, and or subscribe. Your guys' input is invaluable to us as always. Also check us out on Facebook, Instagram, as well as blogger.com for the latest greatest news about our hobby. That's good to do for this one, you guys. We'll catch you guys in the next one. Peace out.